This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
Hi, this is Joe Rabil. Happy New Year to everybody. And I want to kick off the new year by doing a video that mixes and matches signals from my course and my book using MACD and ADX. So I want to get into this. It's a 3 time frame setup. I think it's a really good example for anyone who has taken my course. So let's go ahead and get into this. So if you like what you hear on this video, I would suggest starting with the book. I'm offering at a discount right now in a PDF format. If you go to rabilstockresearch.com/book, you can learn more about it. Okay, so I've got the stock of Goldman Sachs up. I do have the 4 time frames up, but I'm not going to use the hourly today. I'm going to start with a monthly here, work down to a weekly, and then show the signal on the daily. All right, so the first thing we do, and this is what catches my eye, when I go through and look at a lot of charts, I look at a significant number of charts on a daily basis. I tend to start with the monthly, and I'm looking to see if anything catches my eye. And whenever I see something that has kind of been working sideways, especially where the 18 and the 40 have come together like this, my eyes do go down, and I kind of want to see what's going on here. And if we notice what's taken place, we've made a higher bottom in the price. So price has kind of made a ABC with a higher low, and the MACD is making a lower low, and it's doing it right above the 0 line. Okay, so this is one of my favorite signals to be on the lookout for in MACD. Now, what I do like to see on the ADX in conjunction with that, you get the strong move to the upside, and then during this movement, I don't want to see any strength in the sell side. The sellers, if you notice, never got near 25, the red DI. So we've got a pretty good combination here between MACD and ADX. Now, here's where it starts. We start to mix and match a little bit, because if you notice on the weekly chart, we're spending time oscillating, and we're not really respecting the moving averages at all. And we're also not respecting the 0 line. If you notice, it's going above and below. It's not really giving us any significant MACD signal. But what it is doing during this phase is it's showing 0 strength on the sell side. So we've had this decline. We get another decline here. We get another decline here. And none of those are able to get the ADX line really to climb above the 25 level at any significant degree. So when we know that, we know we can start to look. We've got 2 different things going on. All right. Number one, we know we've got pretty significant support here. We've got significant support and potential turning point on MACD on the monthly. We have no sign of real selling strength. So and we're at a big round number at 300. All right. So that's number one. Number two, so when coming down, I know I don't have any strength on this time frame. So what that allows me to do by looking at these 2 things is go up one more, or go to one more smaller time frame and look for a buy signal. And it might look like it's going in the face of this time frame, meaning we could be taking a signal as this is turning back up, and it might be right at these moving averages or something like that. But that's okay, assuming a couple things. Number one, I mean, in this case, we also have our undercut and rally. All right, so the moment this turns off the low after undercutting these bottoms and showing no sign of strength, we know we should be on the alert on this time frame anyway. But even if this didn't undercut, okay, and we were working down and we didn't show any strength here, but we have a very good signal on the higher time frame, I can still go down to the smaller time frame as long as there's no sign of strength. Now, if any of these declines cause the ADX to climb up above the red line, to cause the blue line to get above 25, then this signal you can't really use the signal I'm going to show. But if you don't have that, you can go down to one more smaller time frame, and I'm going to just show where this shows up right here. All right, look at this. We get green DI, make a move up. We make a cross of the 0 line here, but this is where this green DI comes and holds 25 and then turns up from here. Now, I do recognize the signal. This is really the close above this low bar here. It would have probably been a little bit of a tougher signal. Maybe you ended up getting here, but the fact is you're getting in on a monthly signal. All right. This is a monthly signal, and we're talking the 18-month is at 340, and this signal is down around 325. So, I mean, we're getting in on this initial monthly bar, and we're still below the 18 and the 40 on the weekly time frame. So it gives you the opportunity to get in earlier if you understand all these time frames and how they're working together. So I hope this makes sense. I mean, what we want to do is use the strength and the wind at our back from the bigger time frame. The fact that we're sitting at the big round number, the fact that we've got the MACD turning. This is one of my favorite MACD signals here, is where we're turning at the zero line. Now it's a extra benefit that it's a zero line reversal, but any monthly zero line reversal, I'm on the lookout for if there's no strength on the sell side. I want to see what's going to happen. I'm going to start to look at the weekly and the daily and see if anything's giving me an idea that something is turning to the upside. Now, if I'm looking at this as a classic signal, I've got the monthly and the weekly. I'd be looking for a pullback in this time frame as a setup, a monthly, weekly. All right. I'm giving you sort of a heads up of a way if you want to play earlier and if you want to anticipate the reversal a little bit more. I think you can take advantage of this signal here. And the way that it played out with the green DI kicking in. If you get that green DI move, after all the things that we've talked about, right? Now that the MACD on the monthly has come down to the zero line, we've shown no strength to the downside. And it is a helpful benefit that this was an undercut. And then look at the big green bar. So that all took place after that, after the big green bar, after we tested 300, after we got this to take place. Then all of a sudden this shows up. And if you wanted, and I really wasn't going to do this, but if we go back to November, you can see that we did get a trigger one. All right. This is straight out of my course. This is a trigger one right here that you could have taken on 11/13, basically right on the open. That would have gotten you in this trade, and you would have been in, right around this 325 mark and not having to wait for the gap up. So as it turns out, I hadn't even looked at this in advance. I just was going to use the 3 time frames, but when these show up on a regular basis, it's just worth pointing them out. Zero line reversal with low ADX, and you can draw your trend line and trigger yourself in. So that's really a 4 time frame trade. If you want to get in at 325 and something early that's showing big signs. Now, one thing I'll tell you is that if you do this and you're looking at it from a monthly, weekly standpoint, now you can enter even off the hourly chart, but then take the risk off the weekly if you want. All right. So you can do this, figure out what the average true range is on the weekly, and use that as your barometer for your stop. And then also for your targets. And what you can end up doing is you could risk off of a daily chart, right? So you could actually say, I'm going to get in here and use 2 ATRs on the daily, but then my targets are going to be off the weekly. And what you do is you skew the risk reward dramatically in your favor. You're going to make like 5 to 1, potentially 7 to 1 if it works in your favor. Now, if you do it that way, just realize you could get stopped out, and then you're going to need to look for another entry, and you would do that off the weekly at that point if it plays out that way. All right. Hopefully this helps, gives you some ideas of how to use all these different signals, these different MACD and ADX indications to your favor. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.